Good morning and welcome to 365 Days of Amazing Stories with Theo Mayer. We're on day 110 and I'm going to begin the story of the jackal or the tiger. Now, once in the land of Hindustan, the king and the queen, one very, very hot night, were trying to fall asleep. But it was so hot that they couldn't rest. They couldn't find their way into slumber. As they lay there, they tossed and turned one side to the other, but then became even more wide awake when suddenly there was a howl outside. "Did you hear that, tiger?" said the king. The queen responded, "That was no tiger. That was a jackal." The king said, "No, that was a tiger." The queen snapped back, "How could there be a tiger in the city?" "Oh, my dear, that was certainly a jackal." The king said, "No, I'm sorry. I know what I heard. Don't contradict me." The queen snapped back, "Oh, my dear, in this case you are wrong. That was a jackal." Well, their arguing escalated, got very heated, as things can when it's hot, and neither one would relinquish. Finally, the king said, "Okay, so be it. We'll call in the guards and we'll see what they say. If they say that it was a jackal, then I shall go and I shall leave the kingdom to you. I will go away. But if they say it was a tiger, then you will have to leave and I will marry a new wife." "Fine," said the queen. "I know it was a jackal." So the two guards that stood outside their bedroom chamber were invited in. Now, before they walked in, they turned to each other, and the one said to the other, "Listen, we both know that that was a jackal, but you know that, well, if we say that it was a jackal, the king, he probably won't follow through with leaving the kingdom, and then it will go very badly for both of us. So it's probably in our best interests just to say it was a tiger." The other agreed. And so when they were called in, they both said, "Oh, yes, sire, that was indeed a tiger." Well, immediately the king got up and summoned some of his servants and had them bring a palanquin. He had the queen get into it, and he ordered his servants to take the palanquin 3 days away, and there to leave her in some remote forest and to return. Well, the servants picked up the palanquin and off they went. And they went on and on for 3 days and 3 nights, and finally, in a forest far away, in a dense part of the forest, they set the palanquin down. And they walked away to return back to the kingdom of Hindustan. Well, now the queen, she stayed within the palanquin for some time. It was quiet. She thought to herself, there is absolutely no way that the king is going to leave me here. Certainly when his temper cools down, he will think better of what he's done, and he will come for me. He'll have me brought back. So she waited there in silence all through the day until night came, and she spent another night there in the palanquin. And in the morning, she opened it up and she realized that he wasn't going to come. It was kind of a spooky place to be for her. Out in the middle of a forest, no protection, really no one to watch over her. Strange place. No one would know her. She began to sob. She was sitting at the edge of the palanquin out in the forest. She was crying. Now, it just so happened that where the servants had set down the palanquin was very close to a woodsman's home. And he heard this sobbing out in the woods. And he wondered where it was coming from and who it was. So he got up and made his way outside and toward where the crying was coming from. And when he got there, he saw the palanquin looking very royal and very well addressed, and the queen sobbing away. And as she heard him approach, she, of course, stopped sobbing and kind of pulled herself together out of fear because she thought, oh no, who is this man that's coming toward me? Now the woodsman, he said to her, who are you and why are you crying? She wouldn't answer. And he said, please tell me, who are you? How come you are here? And still she remained completely quiet. She was totally afraid of who this man was. Finally he said, don't be afraid. To me, you are like a daughter. Please, tell me who you are and let me help you. Well, to this, the queen responded, and she looked up, and she shared with the woodsman all that had taken place. He said, please come with me. Come to my home. My wife is there. Our children are grown. We will take care of you. Do not worry. And so she made her way to the modest home of the woodsman. Modest, yes, it was, but it was well endowed. Everything was there that was needed. There she had a room to stay in, and there was plenty of food to eat. For the woodsman and his wife over the years had tended a beautiful piece of land that surrounded their home. It was planted with food-bearing trees. The wildlife around it was abundant. Whenever there was need for meat, the woodsman would hunt and bring a deer back or something like quail or rabbits or whatever was needed and available. Now, a remarkable thing happened in a short time after the queen had arrived. For when she had left the kingdom, she was pregnant. And in some months, she gave birth to a beautiful young son. Now, we will leave the story here, and tomorrow I'll continue the story of the tiger or the jackal. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.